Alright, so here's the juicing tutorial. So first of all, we got the juicer set up here. Everything's in here, as you can see. We got the filter in and everything. So before we get started, here's a little trick that I like to do. So if you take the bucket and you get one of your bags, you can use a Stop and Shop bag, or you can use one of these grocery bags, whatever. I'm gonna put this in the bucket first. Don't give it too much slack inside, or else when it turns on it'll get caught. And this way here, all the fiber that goes in there won't have to cause you to have to clean this bucket up. You can just take the bag out and throw it out after. Alright, so first of all, an important point to note is that you want to cut the ends of all the carrots off. The little stem ends, before you juice it. So here, the quantity I'm making is a little more because I'm juicing for both Michelle and I. But you can use whatever amount of carrots, produce the desired amount of juice you want. Now the carrots are the last thing that I juice because they create the most fiber, and if you want to get the most out of what you're juicing, you want to juice the other things first so that the filter doesn't get clogged more. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out. So we have the carrots, and then I kind of have the other stuff prepared over here a little bit. Got the apples and lemons and everything. Get those guys over here. Got your ginger, and then all the greens. So here we have the lacinato kale, the rainbow chard, and some parsley. So to start off, of course, having the juicer plugged in, there's two switches here. Down is to turn it on high. Always juice it on high, no matter what you're juicing. And up is low, but I never use low. As I said, always down for high. And this big red button here is the stop button. So once you're done, you're gonna press that. So first of all, I'm gonna take the pusher out of the chute, and we're gonna get started. It's gonna be a bit noisy, it's a high-speed juicer, but I'll show you what I'm gonna do and the order of how I do it. So we're gonna start off with the apples. Wait for it to get up to full speed. Alright. Now we're going to throw an apple in. Got this guy. Don't push too hard. Just give it enough pressure and ease it in. There's one. And as I said, we're juicing for both Michelle and I, so we're going to do two. And you can do however many you need for the amount of sweetness you want. So I'm going to put this in. But before I continue, I'm going to grab the ginger and put that in. See, this way the apple's waiting, and now if I was to put the ginger in alone, it would kind of bounce around. This is kind of just a trick I do so that doesn't happen. Nice and easy. See the juice coming out there. Alright. Next we're going to do the rainbow chard. But what I do is I'm going to get the parsley, same thing for cilantro if you're juicing cilantro, kind of bunch it up like this. Get one of the leaves of the chard and kind of wrap it around. You have to do this in order for that to juice properly in a high-speed juicer. So I grab another one and I kind of get it in there. You don't want it to be, you don't want to put too many in at once, or else it can get stuck. You don't want to overload it. But that's what I kind of do. And then you just, the stems go along. So, kind of, just easily push it down. Ease up on it a little. now we're going to take our remaining pieces of chard and just kind of get those in there. Notice how the stems, these are bigger pieces of chard, so those are sticking out. So first I'm going to kind of just squeeze them down a little. Then I'll get this guy and just lightly. You almost don't need to put any pressure. It's a very powerful juicer. Now for the lacinato kale. I'm going to get these guys. These in. Same thing, these ones are a little longer, so just going to kind of ease them in like this. And now here's an important part. The lemon. These are smaller, so I'm using 2. You want to put these in before the kale is finished. Otherwise, they're going to bounce around. So, there we go. Now, slowly ease it in. Apply just enough pressure. There you go. Now we're going to move on to the carrots. Now as you can see, this is starting to fill up. Because we're making juice for both Michelle and I, and we're both going to have more than 16 ounces, this 32 ounce, 35 ounces or so that it can fill, we're going to have to kind of stop and then juice more carrots after and get this poured out into some containers. But I have a little more room, so I'm going to continue. Kind of just throw the carrots in there. You can put 3 or 4 at a time. It doesn't, the juicer is powerful enough where it can handle it. And like I said, again, you almost don't need to push down very hard. There you go. Now it's getting to the max, so we're going to press the red button, turn it off. If you let it go any further than that, it's going to start splattering out and around. So, now that we're finished with that, I like to get a spoon and kind of go like this. So I'm going to take this guy and stir it around a bit. Okay, now this piece here is important. This is what keeps, usually there's a small layer of foam on the top. This keeps the foam out when you're pouring the juice. So I'm going to get our ball mason jars here. Okay. And place them there. Now I'm going to pour whatever amounts we're each going to have in. Keeping in mind that I still have some carrots to juice, so I'm going to be adding that in after. Alright. So, I'm going to juice the remaining carrots. Again, push down for high. Wait for it to rev up. There we go. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Go. So I'm not going to mix this one because this one's all carrots anyway. So now we'll get the rest into here. Let me give some for Michelle. Now in mine, I like to add a little more ginger in mine. You'll notice when you're first starting, depending uh, on how used to ginger you are, it can be pretty powerful if you're not too used to it. So you start off with a smaller piece, and then you gradually increase it. So I'm used to it more, so I put a little bit more. So I'm just going to go ahead and juice this extra piece of ginger and add it to the carrot and put it into mine. That's it. But now if you're juicing just for yourself, this is all just going to be in one shot. You don't need to worry about the extra pouring and all that. You're just gonna basically fill it up. I mean, it's, I recommend 32 ounces, especially if you're really working on detoxing and healing and stuff. You definitely want to do more. You want to have 32 ounces, do 16 in the morning, 16 at night. But since, like I said, since it's for both Michelle and I, we're doing a little more, and it requires kind of filling up the container and doing it a couple times. But if you're doing it just for yourself, just one shot, everything in that you want, fill it up, pour it into your glass, and you're done. So here we go. I'm gonna take this guy, pour it into mine. And that's it. And of course you're gonna get your covers. If you're gonna store it in the fridge, you can drink it right away, or if you're gonna store it for a little bit, let it get cold, you can do that too. We usually just drink it right away, or half of it, and then the other half we'll put in the fridge for later. We just juiced now, it's morning time, so we'll drink half of it now and then the other half at night. So as long as these are on tight, then you'll be good for later and it'll be fresh. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these in the fridge now. So now for the cleaning part. Basically, it's pretty quick and simple. I start off with this guy here, and you're not really going to use any soap. On occasion, if you want to, you can, but it's really not necessary. Just get some water here. What I do sometimes is just grab. You can use a rag or just a couple paper towels. Wet it. If you want to do that. Get it good and rinse it off. I'm gonna put it off to the side here. And so take the cutting board. Now to the juicing pieces. So we've got this guy. And so this part is pretty easy to clean. Rinse it out nice and good. Sometimes with the plastic pieces you might notice some discoloration after a while. That's only natural. If you care about that, you can use the back end of the sponge and kind of just give it a good scrub. That'll take care of it. That out nice. Alright, so now on to the juicer. So we're gonna release the handle. Now you see this top piece here. You got a bunch of stuff that's caught over here. So I usually kind of just let that out first. Get a little bit of that out before I rinse it. And then with a good rinse. Get all the remainder out. that off to the side. Now so now we have in here, as you can see, the filter, and there's all the excess fiber. So I'm going to take this out here, take the bag out. There you go, nice and clean. Take your bag, and you can just go ahead and throw that out. If you're a gardener, you can use that as compost, and that'll work very nicely for your garden as well. Us being in an apartment and stuff, we don't have that right now, but there are other things you can do with that. But for now, we just we throw that out. And here's just one common misconception that I want to just kind of get out there, is that, oh, you're throwing away the produce and stuff. Well, actually, if you do some research on it, the juice contains 85% of the nutrients, the vitamins and minerals and everything that are in the fruit and vegetables. So you're not really getting rid of a whole lot. That's just a whole bunch of fiber that your body will need to work, a whole lot harder to digest and extract those nutrients. Whereas when you're juicing here, you're getting it in liquid form, and you're getting all those nutrients within 15 minutes into your bloodstream. You're getting them absorbed. So don't worry at all about the extra fiber. All that is just extra work for your body. So whether you do something with it or not, it's really not much to be concerned about. So now we're gonna go back over here to the juicer. You see, you have the screen. Now it's pretty easy to take out. All you have to do, and it shows it right here, is kind of just rotate the cup here, and then it pops up. You lift it up. Now the teeth here are very sharp, so that's just one thing I want to caution you on, is be careful not to not to hurt yourself on that. But it's pretty simple to clean this thing. Basically, you get your little brush here, comes with the juicer. I'll rinse it out a little bit first, get some of that excess stuff out. And then I like to do this first. Go in a circular motion along with the teeth, not opposing them. Try to clean the bottom out a little bit. Then now with the screen, I kind of go in little circular motions. Just go all around, apply enough pressure. The filter is essential to the amount of juice you're going to be getting. So you don't want any of the pores in the screen to be clogged. Go around that a couple times. And then on the other side too, you'll notice is on the other side you'll notice there's some extra fiber on there. Just kind of go around there, give it a good washing, good scrubbing. Eventually inside this lip it'll build up, so sometimes you can just kind of go around there quick and clean that out. I just go around this again. And that's it. If you hold it up to the light, you can pretty much notice and see whether it's clean or not. But once you get a feel for it, you're pretty confident in how you cleaned it. So now what I do with this is I usually set this aside separately, because now that we cleaned all the other pieces, those pieces I'm going to dry with a towel. But this piece here, I don't like to dry with a towel. Some people do, but I noticed early on that when you dry this with a towel, a lot of the fibers in the towel get stuck in it, and I just don't like that. It doesn't take long to dry, so I usually set this off and let it dry on its own, just air dry. And I'll show you that after. But here we have the bowl. Then kind of just clean that out, rinse it out a bit. There we go. That's it. It is new. So now I'm just gonna kind of go through and just, I mean, you can let these air dry, but I like to dry them right away so they don't get all, spotty and stuff. So just dry them up good. Go. Place it right back on here. Get rid of this stuff. Just place it right back into place. Scoop the container underneath. Now, again, since I said I'm going to let this air dry, I'm going to go ahead and put this piece on without that in it, just to put it back together. First, dry it a bit. So there's really nothing to it. Just dry it up. Grab the pusher here. Dry that up a bit. Put that guy in. And this guy. Okay, and as I said, I usually like to just let this kind of dry off on its own and air dry, and that way it doesn't get any fibers from the towel in it. As you can see, it's nice and clean, so keep it that way and just let it air dry. And when that's done, you put it back in the next time you juice. So if you're gonna juice again tomorrow morning or whatever. But a lot of times I juice at night too, and I'll just let it dry overnight, and then the next morning I'll just kind of pop it in just before I'm about to juice. So, but it really doesn't take that long, maybe about 20 minutes to air dry. But that's all there is to it. So for this video, I basically took a little bit longer and kind of just showed you all the little tricks and how to clean it, and all that stuff. So, but usually after about a few days, a week, you can get this done in 10 minutes, 15 minutes tops. I usually get it done in about 15 minutes. It's just one of those things that it's a motion, and you get through it and you're done. And it's especially once you have the juice, you get so much energy after that too. So there's really nothing to it. It's pretty simple, especially with this juicer here, the Breville Elite Juice Fountain Elite. This guy right here is the best. So it's really quick and easy, and that's it. So we're gonna go ahead and drink our juice now, and I hope you all enjoyed this video tutorial, and I hope some of you give it a try and you benefit from it. Thank you.